got stuck again. Just heard it say, robot trapped, please clear the obstacle. Hello the internet, hope you're all well, thanks for stopping by. Okay, I have a product review for you today and it is the Eufy X10 Pro Omni Robot Vacuum Cleaner. Never used a robot vacuum cleaner before, so I'm intrigued to see how it gets on in my house. This product has been provided to me by Amazon as part of the Amazon Vine program. I have not paid for this product, nor am I paid for this review. Amazon don't contact me at all, neither does the manufacturer to influence my review at all. This is entirely my findings of how I'm going to get on with this vacuum over the next couple of weeks. This is my honest appraisal of this product. Okay, now I'm going to put it up against two other vacuum cleaners, one of which I've had for about 4 or 5 months now, the other of which I've had for a year and a half. This is the Shark Detect Pro, which was also an Amazon Vine test product. I've had it since, I can't remember how long, it's 3 or 4 months at least I've had it. And it's a very lightweight cordless vacuum cleaner, which is really, really good for spot spills and small items of vacuuming, but its battery isn't particularly good. This was a Vine product. However, this is my own purchase, the Shark, always forget his name, Shark Stratos cordless vacuum cleaner, which I've had since Black Friday 2022, and it has been absolutely magnificent. Genuinely, this has been a really, really good vacuum cleaner. However, it was a lot of money. Like I say, bought it myself, but a really, really good vacuum cleaner. And the reason I say it's a really, really good vacuum cleaner is because it does an excellent job with that thing over there. That is my Border Collie Storm, and she molts everywhere. It's molting season now, but she molts everywhere all the time anywhere. I vacuum every Friday and I fill that twice without fail, and this is where my review is going to be focused on. This product, this vacuum cleaner, it claims in the blurb that it is good at dealing with households with pets in them. And this one is going to be a struggle for it. It really is. The main element that I really want to be looking at is this box here. This is a docking station which it automatically empties into, and I've been reading through the blurb, and it does say that the this section here, there's a box there for emptying out all the dust and pet hair, and it says it's good for 2 to 3 months, or 45 days in a household with a pet, or 30 days in a household with 2 pets, and then you have to replace the bag. I didn't even think that bags were still a thing. This doesn't have a bag, that doesn't have a bag. You just empty it straight into the wheelie bin, off it goes for the next bit of vacuuming. But this one apparently has a bag in there. So we've already got some ongoing costs to keep this maintained. And I feel that Storm is going to fill that a lot quicker than 30 days. And I shall show you why. These are great things. These are for dragging across the carpet and picking up some hair. And I can see hair. Like I said, I vacuum every Friday night. It's Friday evening now, so I'm due to do some vacuuming, and I'm just going to drag this once across the carpet. There we go, and I'm dragging this up now. That is Storm's hair just from one line across the across the carpet. That is what this vacuum cleaner is going to be up against. So we're going to find out if it's up to the task. So let's go ahead and open it up. I've not opened this up yet. I don't know if it needs charging or what, so let's have a look at what's inside it. We've got, oh, I've got some unboxing instructions, so let's have a look what we got in here. The X10 Pro Omni. Safety instructions in there. Great, we'll have a read of that before I start playing with it. We've got something that's very heavy that looks like it could well be the vacuum cleaner itself. Okay, there's all sorts of stuff in here. So there's a power cable there. That is, what is that? That's some kind of, like a filter maybe. Here we go. Here is the vacuum cleaner itself. Right, look into this. Right, there is the vacuum cleaner with all its plastic covers and stuff on it. So quite a sizable thing. I'm intrigued to see how this deals with my house, because we've got dining room tables, we've got dog toys, we've got weights and stuff. There's treadmill over there. We've got multiple surfaces here. We've got a carpet in the living room and the dining room down there. Then it goes into a vinyl floor in the kitchen, and then it goes into a hallway, which is a 1930s parquet floor, wooden floor. So it's got a lot of surfaces to go over. Obviously, these things can only do downstairs because this is a two-storey, three-bedroom house, so it can only do the downstairs. And I'm intrigued to see how it gets on. I've got a feeling this probably isn't going to work very well in this application, but we're going to find out over the next couple of weeks. So that is the vacuum cleaner itself. Then it's got its docking station, which is this big plastic bin thing in here, and that is the dock. So when it's finished trundling around, it docks itself back into there, it empties into there and does something into there. Now this has got the ability to also mop the floor as well as vacuum the carpet. It's got a wet and dry function, so it can clean the vinyl or the wooden floor in there. It comes back into here, then it dries out the mop apparently, so you don't get any build-up of bacteria. That will adjust to level itself off between the carpet and the vinyl floor. So, right. I'm going to go ahead and read some instructions on this before I start breaking a very expensive product. And if it needs charging, charge it up and set it about cleaning the carpets and the vinyl floor. So we'll see how we get on. So, having read the instructions, this is the Eufy X10 in situ in my lounge. It's quite a sizable thing, it does take up quite a lot of space. The right hand hopper, that has your dust bag in it. Now this will fill up pretty quickly, but you can put your finger into the hole and scoop out any dog hair, so in my case it didn't actually fill up quite as quickly as I was expecting it to. Obviously I would have preferred no dust bag at all. These are $19.99 for a pack of 6, so it is an ongoing expense. This there, that is the clean water hopper. You fill that with clean water for the mop function, and the hopper behind it, that's where the wastewater collects. You'll need to empty that out regularly. The vacuum will tell you though when you need to refill the clean water and empty the dirty water. Now then, on the box there are instructions for installing the machine, and there is a QR code. If you scan that with your camera on your phone, it will take you to the manufacturer's website where there's an option to download the app. That will take you to either the iOS App Store or to the Android App Store. If you don't already have an account, this gives you an opportunity to set up an account, and you will need an account to be able to operate the app. From here, you're then going to add the device. The X10 Pro is in the top left corner, so we select that, and now we're going to go through the connection process. I'm going to show you how to do this. I'll put chapter points at the bottom if you want to skip on to the testing of this, but here we're going to show you how we're going to set this up for the first time. So we're going to power the machine up, and it's going to ask you for permission to connect to your Bluetooth and also to your Wi-Fi network. So you're going to need to allow it to do that, and then we can complete the connection process. Now I did find this connection process was a little bit long-winded. It's not the most straightforward of things, so this is why I'm doing this step-by-step guide so you can see how I did it. It took me a few attempts to actually get it right. For example, once it's all connected, you're then going to need to do a firmware download, and it only allows you to do that if the vacuum cleaner is charging, and I found that the vacuum cleaner wasn't quite charging, so it refused to do it. So it took me a few attempts to get this right, but once it is connected, you see we've now connected it, it's going to pop up with you're going to need to do a firmware upgrade. So here we go, upgrade now, do it straight away. You can see that it says device isn't charging. It took me a few moments to actually work out why it wasn't charging, but once I'd reseated it, there you go, it upgrades. I've sped through this one, it takes a few seconds, but once you've done it, you won't need to do it again for quite some time, and it'll do all the firmware upgrades of its own accord anyway. Then it asked me what voice I wanted it to have. Now, unless you want to have it in German or French or Chinese perhaps, I decided to stick with English female, and I'm sure you will too. Now, the next step of the setup process is perhaps the most important bit. It's going to scan your house. It's going to trundle off around your house. It's going to do a first pass. It's going to map it out into the app, and it's just going to familiarise itself with the layout of your house. So this is quite an important thing. Let it trundle off, and as you'll notice, the dog wasn't particularly impressed by it. And this was the first time I'd seen this robot vacuum cleaner in action, or any robot vacuum cleaner in action for this matter. It does kind of bumble around your carpet rather. It doesn't seem to have a particular method. It just goes zigzags all over the place. You think it's going to start going up and down, and then it just bumbles around and bounces off of things. There doesn't seem to be any real set pattern to it. But it does the job. I thought it was actually quite quiet. The dog thought it was still too noisy. She wasn't having any of it. But I thought it was quite a quiet vacuum cleaner in operation. Now, once it's done its pass and familiarised itself with your house, it shows you the map of your house. And you can see in real time the vacuum cleaner going up and down your house and showing the route it's gone. Now, I've sped this up to a factor of 10. It's not quite as fast as this in real life, but it's quite interesting to see how it goes around your house, makes its pass around, cleans floors. It'll even show you when it's met a obstruction, like there's a little green blob. That's actually a shoe. It's come up across a shoe and shoelaces. It's telling me that there's an obstacle there. And it's quite interesting and quite good how it does all this. It's currently going around the dog's bed in the bottom left corner of the screen there. It's really good. And it zones your house. You can give them your own names and you can split it up, so tell it off to go and do a schedule of just clean the living room, just clean the dining room, something like that. You can go into really quite intricate detail with what you can set this vacuum cleaner up to do. The app, I have to say, the app is absolutely fantastic. It really is good what it can do. Now, this is the vacuum returning to its docking station and offloading all of its spoil, so it's quite noisy when it's sucking out all of the dust and detritus it's picked up into the right hand side of it, put into the dust bag. And then once it's done that, it will then either empty any dirty water or refill clean water. It'll do this automatically, so if it's going around your house cleaning and doing the mopping and it realises it's full, it'll come back of its own accord. And here it is, it's washing the mops. That stops it getting from any bacteria build-up on the mops.
Finished washing mops, resuming cleaning.
And off it goes again. It's now cleaned itself, it's emptied itself, it's refilled itself, off it goes again, trundling around the house. And I do like the way you can just leave it to its own devices. In the app, you can set up schedules, so you don't even need to be in the house when it's doing the vacuum cleaning, which is really, really good. So you don't have to be bothered by the sound of it trundling around and all the noise of it emptying itself out into its docking station. It's really good. I'm very impressed with that. I mean, if you were particularly fastidious about having a clean house, you could perhaps schedule it to go and clean up after you've done the cooking of an evening time. So it just comes out, cleans the kitchen, maybe cleans around the dining room table. Fantastic, your house is clean all the time. It's pretty good. Now, I will say though, my house, which is a traditional 3-bedroom detached house, it doesn't really lend itself as a layout to a robot vacuum. You can see there the dining room table. I know we've got a treadmill, obviously you don't normally have a treadmill in your dining room, and all your steppers and trainers and stuff lying around, but we've got a lot of obstacles for it to navigate, and it struggles. It can't find its way past the dining room. You can see there, it's had a look, no, it can't get through there. The layout of my house just doesn't really lend itself to a robot vacuum. Something like a modern build house, maybe an open plan building, yeah, absolutely, that would work a treat, but for me, it doesn't quite work in my application. Now, what you're seeing here is the mop in action. It's dropped down into the kitchen floor, which is a vinyl surface, and you can just see the moisture on top of the surface there as the mops are spinning around. The mops have dropped down, made contact with the floor, and you can see that it's cleaning the floor. However, it's not getting really into the corners. It doesn't get right up to the edges. This is on the parquet floor in the hallway of our house. It's a traditional 1930s floor, and you can see again the moisture on that. I was a bit dubious at first about having moisture on the floor, because we don't usually mop it with a wet mop. It's usually a dry mop that we normally go over it with, but it seems alright actually, and as you can see, it's going up and down. It doesn't get to the corners. Like I say, you can see that there's patches where it doesn't quite get to. However, this I was very impressed with. This is our pantry. Like I say, it's a 1930s house. It's a sunken pantry, a couple of steps down. I thought it was going to have a bit of a lemming moment and throw itself off the cliff, but no, it didn't. It scanned it, it realised there was a drop there, an obstacle, and it went, no, you know what, I don't think I'm going to do that. Let's go this way instead. And it navigated the obstacle. I was really impressed with that. So it's really an intelligent device. Well, most of the time it is, because I found a flaw. It can't deal with the step between my carpet and the vinyl floor, or the carpet and the parquet floor in the hall. It's too big for it. It gets stuck and it just sits there spinning its little wheels, all pathetic, sending me little messages that I'm stuck, come and help me. And it really does send you messages, say I'm stuck, I've met a obstruction, I can't get past it, please come and help me. So you have to give it a bit of a push, a bit of a kick, or a bit of a helping hand. And it happens all the time for me. It is a bit of a step from a vinyl floor up to the carpet, but it's not that big, and I'm sure a lot of people have steps like this. It's got stuck again. Just heard it say, robot trapped, please clear the obstacle. And it just can't deal with it, so it flashes its little red light, it squeals and comes to a halt. It struggles to go across thresholds like that. I know it's a relatively big drop off, but that's not unusual. I mean, fair play, it does turn itself off. It doesn't keep sucking up the carpet underneath it. It will turn itself off until you come and save it. I'm going to shut the door. I can't trust it. If I go out the house and leave it to be on a schedule to go and do some vacuuming, I can't trust it that it's not going to get itself stuck. So I have to kind of take precautions and shut doors and sort of keep it to its own little zone. It's not ideal. So, what are my feelings on the Eufy X10 Pro Omni vacuum cleaner? I've had this thing on for very nearly 7 weeks, so I've had a chance to really put it through its paces. And I've got to admire the technology. This as a gadget is a fantastic device. It really is wonderful. I love the automation. The app that controls it is really good. I can't stress that enough. It is a great ecosystem going on there. And if you've got the kind of house that can suit this kind of vacuum cleaner, you've got a great purchase here. It's a lot of money, it's £800. If you've got the resources and you've got the house that can justify it, then absolutely, this is a great vacuum cleaner for you. But for me, it doesn't work. We have a 1930s traditional 3-bedroom detached house. It's the traditional long, narrow rooms where you don't get much floor space. They soon clutter up. And the Eufy struggles with that. I mean, when I say it struggles, it will navigate around them, but it just means you've got patches of floor that doesn't get vacuumed. So you end up having to prepare the room. You need to move things out the way. You need to, in my case, close doors, close gates and stuff so that it doesn't get stuck on the threshold strips, which it does all the time. And that kind of defeats the purpose of a home automated vacuum cleaner that's supposed to go and do it all of its own accord, set up schedules. And I mean, those schedules are great, absolutely fantastic. You don't even need to be in, but I need to be in because it keeps on getting stuck on that threshold strip. But if you've got a house that is open plan enough, so say you've got a modern build house, open plan, you've not got doors and walls all over the place, and you've just got nice wide expanses of area to vacuum, yes, it's wonderful and I highly recommend it. But for me and anyone who's got a house like mine, you've really got to think long and hard about it, because £800 for a vacuum cleaner is a lot of money. And then there's the ongoing costs. You've got to replace the mops every so often. So that's going to be 15, 20 pounds every so often. And then you've got the bags that need replacing. And a word on the bags. I thought they would fill up much quicker than they did, but there's a reason for that. If I look at this, I'll take this bag out of here. This is still got the first bag that I had when it was new, and because of that hole there, I've been able to stick my finger in there and pull out the hair that I've been picking up every night. And that's the majority of things that this thing picks up is the dog hair, this gorgeous little creature here. And I can just pick that out and I just stick it straight into the bin. I mean, it's not ideal ferreting around in a dust bag because there's all kinds of junk in there, but that's what I can do. So I've not got through the bags as quickly as I thought I would. But there's also another reason for that, and you see dust and detritus all over the place. There's another reason for that, is because after 7 weeks nearly of using this, I found that I'm not actually using it very often at all, because I need to prepare the house before I use it, and it's defeated the whole object of the automation. I'm still using my Shark. I mean, if you remember at the start of this video, I showed you the Shark Stratos, which is this, and the Shark Protect Pro. You're still going to need a vacuum, unless you have a bungalow where there are no changes of level. Even if you've got a house suitable for that, you're still going to need another vacuum cleaner. You're either going to get a second one of those, which is going to be economically unviable, which is going to go upstairs, but even then, you're still going to need a vacuum to clean the stairs. So whatever solution you come up with, whatever house you've got, unless you have a bungalow, you're going to need 2 vacuum cleaners. And I found that after all this time of using it, I'm not really using it very much anymore. I'm still going back to my Shark. I'll come to do the vacuuming on a Friday evening and I don't even think about setting that flying. I just go, I'll grab the Shark and run around, because it's a cordless vacuum. And the time it takes me to do this entire house, it's literally like 15 minutes, 20 minutes with a cordless vacuum like that. It's so easy. And that thing, I'm just chasing it around. So for my application, it just doesn't work. And you've got to think long and hard whether it'll work for your application as well. It does a good job at cleaning. It's not as good as the Shark at cleaning up Storm's dog hair. I still occasionally see little pockets of hair that's embedded itself into the carpet and I need to go around with that. But it does a pretty good job. The automation is great. I like the fact that when it realises it's full, it'll come back, trundle back to the docking station and empty itself. And when it's got too much dirty water in, it'll come and empty itself into there and fill itself back up with clean water. The app, like I say, is absolutely wonderful. I love the fact that you can schedule times for it to do vacuuming. You can zone rooms, zone areas of the house, and I think the app and the vacuum cleaner are wonderful. Don't get me wrong. I think if you've got the resources to justify spending £800 on a vacuum and you've got the kind of house that will benefit from it, then yes, go ahead and buy this. I do recommend it. But unless you can tick those boxes, I can't justify a vacuum cleaner even half that price. I would much rather spend my money on a good quality cordless vacuum cleaner like that one, and there's plenty of other ones available, not just from Sharp, but there's plenty of them available, and do it manually. And coming from me, who loves gadgets and tech, that's quite a big statement. So there we go. If you've got the house that will justify it, brilliant product. Otherwise, a bit of a waste of money. Hope this video has been useful to you. If you have got benefit out of it, then do post me a like and a comment and a subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video. Take it easy.